All right, folks. Well, there's 2 players in the bottom of every group, and in this case, that is very much the case in Group A. Unfortunate to see it. These players are so talented. Maybe they'll start to turn it around now. But so far, Lix and Repard have just been punching bags in Titans League Season 5. Lix, nearly 40 years old, has been around a really long time. Definitely one of the old guard Chinese players. And last season in Gold, he played super well. Ended up getting promoted up to Plat. But when you get promoted up to Platinum, with 2 relegation spots in each group, it is always so difficult for those players to stay alive. And Lix is just so unique. Like, this draft from Lix, nobody else would do this, right? Byzantine's first. He gets Celts on the draft, too. Like, people have just not really been picking these civs. And now he goes for Celts here. So he's all about the early pressure. He's all about being as annoying as possible, honestly. It's very Lix style. Now, Repard, on the flip side, Repard's drafts seem to fit modern-day AoE in terms of civ placement. I can't get this draft to leave. There we go. Bohemians have been sick here. Bohemians are one of the best Imperial Age civs. Oftentimes, players will wall up on this map along the front and try and get to late game. So, I like the Bohemians as a pick. It becomes very clear immediately based on the civ matchup that he will need to brace himself for some pressure. But if he could survive this, he could start to get a win. And we just looked at it. Because MBL's only at 4 wins after 3 rounds, it is doable for both of these players to survive. And I think playoffs is also technically possible, though it seems unlikely, right? We'll take it 1 win at a time. I think Repard and Lix need to basically sweep the other here. You sweep, then you beat MBL if you're Lix. And maybe then MBL could be in trouble. He's going to hate me for this because he was listening earlier. I don't know if he's around now, but MBL was relegated from TTL before. Look at Lix. So, Lix doesn't know the sheep are there, which is really unfortunate. Oh, now he knows the sheep are there, but he's waiting. And he'll do anything he can here to stop any early game from Repard from working out. Repard knew the sheep were there, so the sheep will disappear. But he also knows the boar is there, and he might send a villager out there without loom to take it. So far, Repard is just pushing in the deer. Yeah, MBL got relegated down to Gold League, and then he promptly just smashed everybody in Gold League and came back to Platinum. That was one of the big upsets. The biggest story, I think, was when Vinchester won a season of Platinum League. It was the first S-tier tournament he ever won, and then the very next year, he got relegated. That will probably never happen again, but it did happen. There's been some big names. I mean, Dowd is down in Gold League right now. And yeah, Lix already bringing in militia from the other side. Lix has been waiting here. Apparently, there was some lag there as well, which is some really bad time, and Repard loses a villager. Oh, God. I mean, Lix gets exactly what he wants so far. He's got the militia here. Chat, tell me, like, roughly how long you've been watching Age of Empires again. Just to give me an idea of, I say again because I think everyone stopped at some point. Maybe you never did. Because, like, I want to ask that so I can describe Lix to you, okay? Someone says a few weeks. Oh, boy. Okay, a few weeks, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years. Okay, a big mix. Okay. Lix is a player who's extremely unorthodox, and he's the type of player who's usually not very efficient back at home, but he designs his play style to make your life a living hell, okay? I don't think I need to say anything more than that. We all know that type of play style in other games, or even in this game. And it looks either really good or really bad. So far, obviously, he's gone 0-6. But that describes the Celts pick. And right now, Lix has got 5 militia. So yeah, 5 militia. Repard already researched Loom, so he doesn't have enough gold for another one. And many players just go for 2 militia to harass. So that's what Repard has done to match this. But Repard will fight this back with Vils. Why does this feel like Lix is going to make more? Going to gold right now means more militia, right? Typically, you wouldn't want golds because you need to go feudal age right now. So you would want heavy on food, you would want farms, and you'd want feudal age for man-at-arms. The gold timing is definitely not your typical build. The militia will kill off the scout, will kill off the other militia, and there's now still 4 militia with the scout. But in many ways, a good start for Lix because he killed the villager from Repard, and Repard will have to work really hard here. Yeah, at the highest level, like I'm talking top 10, some of the unorthodox plays don't really work out because it's inefficient or you're overproducing in an age, and it just... yeah, it just ends up losing to a faster feudal age time and like the next better unit or something like that. But when you're talking these two players, they kind of thrive on being really good in high pressure environments. Repard knows how to send it in his own way, and then Lix just kind of is a madman. So it's probably not easy to rewatch, but if you ever have the time and you want some of the best team game action that I've ever seen in Age of Empires, the 2v2 World Cup from, I think, 2020 was just legendary. It was Lix and Mr. Yo for Team China. They were seen as one of the better teams, of course. But, ooh, nice play from Repard with the quick walls. But, like, Lix, all he did the entire tournament was just annoy 2 players so Mr. Yo could have an easy game. It was so good. So, put that on your list to watch. It's obviously on my YouTube channel. Lix's militia will attack the house. Repard knows it's infantry. Repard will have the archer range. And honestly, beyond the villager kill, he's done a really nice job. His eco upgrades are in. The unfortunate thing is he's not going to be able to full wall this with the with the 7 militia that are going to be on the map. But just very late uptime from Lix. But with confidence as well, right? And with efficiency. Villagers are all working very efficiently. And now he can go for man-at-arms. He'll snag his wood upgrade. He'll drop an archer range. Yeah, Lix went full YOLO. And I think you should also watch the semifinals of that tournament. Like, they didn't just do it against Norway. They did it against everybody. But especially in that final. Nobody thought that Norway was going to lose that final. Yeah, so Keld infantry moves faster. Their lumberjacks also work faster, so... Celts have a very nice early game. It's just their late game is a struggle. Like, it's just a very obvious Civ matchup where if the Celts don't win early, they just lose here. One of the big weaknesses for Celts is gunpowder, but oh god, Repard's got holes in his walls, and there's still units running around, and he still needs to move away, and he still needs to repair over here. And I've even looked in the wrong location, but Repard has fletching. Repard has managed it. I think for Repard, the eco will kind of struggle in terms of the food income because he's going double archer range, but I don't mind double archer range against as much pressure. Because it's going to be double archer range from Lix as well. Wow. Yeah, Max is a classic team game player. Max doesn't play team game. Well, actually, Max doesn't really play 1v1s anymore. He does occasionally play some team games. But this is what Lix does to you. He sets you up with the man-at-arms. Looks like he got in. He got through the palisade. He killed 2 villagers there. Oh, my goodness. And it's just one thing after another. You have to deal with the constant militia. You have to deal with the constant man-at-arms. And now there's double archer range pressure coming out behind this. Lix is playing comfortably here. I think for someone who's been around as long as Lix is, and he plays a lot of ranked games, he'll know Repard. And... he obviously knows everyone else in the group, and there's a clear confidence difference here. I don't know his personality all that well. I think his play style is chaotic, and he's not necessarily quite as chaotic individually, but we'll probably just look at this and say, oh, Repard? I could beat this guy, right? It's not like he's, it's not like it's Leary, who he faced in the first round, who he's never really been able to show better skill than. T90, can you explain how this aggression doesn't beat players like Hart, Hera, or Leary? Well, because the investment into the militia that delays your uptime would do no damage because they would just defend better, basically. And then they would be on range units faster. And they would be... so they would take no villager losses. And they would be on range units faster than you, and they would have a numbers lead right now. But because of Licks being able to use multiple groups, fighting in different areas, he got a little bit of a reward with villagers. I mean, you could just tell, like, that archer standing in the wood line is all because Repard was just scattered. Yeah, Repard also lost a villager in Dark Age. And that villager in Dark Age, I think even there you'd expect some of the players to be able to manage that. So I think even just with the players that they have to play against, Licks is my favorite to be in 5th place at the moment and to be ahead of Repard. He has so much experience. He's had a perfect start to this series, but remember, Licks already played Leary. Licks is even going to go Arson now. But Repard being 0-6, now struggling in this game, and then also having to play Leary later on, means that things are going to be really difficult, and Repard just seems shaky. It's very obvious that Licks' pressure is getting to him, and Licks has had a super clean game. 17 farms back behind this. Wood Eco's still looking good. Market goes up. And Repard just doesn't have the... He just can't sustain the numbers right now. I think it's about to be Celt ETC time for Licks. Archers and Skirmisher Micro, very clean. I'm not in love with Arson. Well, let me take that back. I am in love with Arson. I love that tech, but I think researching it here probably is a little unnecessary. We'll see, though. I honestly, I feel like Repard is playing shakier now than he might have even played in that first and second round. He really went send it mode against MBL, for example, but there was a lot of control over the game, at least. Like, he had the army numbers, but this whole game, Licks has been ahead. Yeah, I don't love Licks' walls. I think that these walls were just safe walls because he thought there could have been a counterattack. I would have preferred he just go and wall here. So this is a bit odd to me. Ooh, but guys, I love this. Licks is going to cut the trees. So yeah, Repard is thinking, let's full wall the middle. Let's hold on. Let's get to Castle Age. If we can get to Castle Age, then we can hold on. But you can't just wall the front on this map and have that be enough, because the sides can always be chopped. Licks his archers running this way, and this is so typical Licks. I'm sure he'll go through with Vils. And if he goes through with Vils, he'll want the Siege Workshop. And just like Licks was ahead with the army in Feudal Age, which I guess it's not technically the case because Repard was Feudal Age faster, but he used the Man-at-Arms to control the game there. He'll back up here, mix in some Man-at-Arms against the Skirms, and he will be through on this side. He does have a stable, so it might be a couple knights as well, but it's full send mode for him. He's sold his stone, so he can't boom. He's just waiting for his army. The Man-at-Arms will chase away the Skirms. Guys, it's so cool. I know I asked it like 3 minutes ago now, but it's so cool to hear info from you guys on like what first brought you into the channel and how long you've been watching. It's so cool. I need to do it more because I've been doing it for so long, and like even I forget some things, some moments. It's fun to think back. Interesting, Licks goes for University here. So, I mean, he's kind of doing everything. Like, I feel like 2 stables is maybe a little bit too much. He doesn't really have the economy for 2 stables. I feel like Ballistics is typically a play that could be kind of questionable with only 9 crossbows. But I think it's completely fine if Repard doesn't know it's coming. And Repard has no clue. Now, I think he should know. Like, over time, he'll probably outpost the sides. But he's not expecting Licks to be in. And he finds out he put a villager there for an outpost. And Licks kills the Vil. And now the eco that's supposed to be safe is just absolute disaster land. Hey, the tower will go up. That's obviously the right play. The Skirms come in, but the Skirms are still out-teched, and the Skirms are just going down. This has not been Repard's season, and Licks hoping to stay alive. This is me getting ahead of myself because this is just the first game, but if Licks starts to get some momentum, and then a very nervous MBL is against him in the 5th round, we could have a very interesting conclusion to this group, assuming Licks can keep this up. But this whole game has just been fully Licks. Mangonel's there. The villagers are there to repair it, so the tower won't be enough. But in Repard's mind, this matchup is just horrible for Celts long term. If he can just get to gunpowder, he can win easily. Like, Celts just struggle so much against gunpowder. Their infantry and siege civ, both those things kill gunpowder. Or, sorry, are killed by gunpowder. But I just don't know if he can get there. Lix has killed 8 villagers. Tower will end up going down. The wood line is now completely abandoned. He can't take wood. He'd have to buy wood, but he doesn't have the gold to do it. Lix attack grounding now. Lix is so far ahead, and Lix's eco is super efficient as well, right? I know he doesn't have bowsaw, but you don't really need it with the Celts. And Celts already have such efficiency with their wood income. And Lix has been around a long time, and you could just tell. The randomness that we see from Lix used to be a lot more commonplace. With quality of life features to the game, it's become a lot easier to kind of perfect your builds and to keep things clean. And then, of course, with more money and more tournaments, people just improve over time. But Lix is Lix, dude. And he's a tricky nut to crack, and I don't think Repard has it. Now I'm feeling bad for Repard. I thought it was funny when Repard named himself Potato in the Civ draft. Because I was like, okay, he's self-aware. He feels like he's not had a good season. But now I feel bad he called himself Potato in the Civ draft. Oh, man. I mean, he fought on for a really long time. This looked bad even while Lix was on the way to Castle Age, and Lix just smashed him. So, yeah, live standings. We got Lix at 1 win. 2 more games to be played. We got MBL with 4 wins. And he's already completed his 3rd round. If Lix could do that 2 more times, maybe he's got a chance to stay alive here. Well played. But still was very all in. But considering the Civ matchup, it worked out. So, Celts get the job done. Celts better than Bohemians, apparently. Well played. Celt ETC, 43 kills to 37. Economy was just so good the whole game. And it all started with what? Like the 7 or 8 militia he added. Lix is one of the slowest players in the league as well. Look how little time he put on his economy there. That's 11 actions per minute, economically average. A 61 average is actually half decent. It's a little faster than me. But yeah, Lix is just tough to break. All right. Well, the last 4 times we've done this map, we only had kings. But now we have queens. So 50% of the time, Regicide will now spawn queens, at least on this map. And if you lose the queen, you are defeated. So don't do that, please. Wasn't it Lix who once lost his king against Nilly in a tournament at one point? I think Nilly was super far behind, and Nilly was playing Goths or something on Regicide Fortress. Oh, God. They're both bringing villagers to the middle. They're both docking the middle here. And the weird thing about this is you don't have gold in the bank to get loom. So typically you'd think get loom, keep your villagers safe. But now neither player can loom, so it's kind of even in that regard. Lix has gone for the way. Repard has gone for the Vietnamese. So all the stone on this map is on the outside, which I'll show you in a second. But I still feel like I can't look away from the... What? Lix is up to feudal age? 13 villager feudal age? Okay. Well... I mean, that's going to be a new record for the map. The thing is, you start with Regicide Res, and which is a lot of food, which is why this is possible. I guess the benefit of doing this is so you can immediately make some navy here to pressure and push the opponent off the fish. But that does mean you only have 13 economy working, which is really low. But it's certainly a strategy. This is Repard's home map. Repard's going to be probably the one doing the things that seem a little bit more standard on this map. And he's chopping the wood on the outside. He's bringing in his boars. But Lix will be up. Remember, new water meta. You can garrison the fishing ships inside of the docks. But it does have minimum range. Lix is just waiting it out right now. I guess it's going to be a Hulk, probably. A Hulk would make the most sense. Actually, Does Lix even know the updated water meta? He did ban all the new civs. It would be very Lix to just make a fire right now. Okay, he's making a hawk. And Repard sees that, and Repard's probably just as confused as I am, and now he backs away. All right. Momentum in chat says, what's the website that T90 uses for the head-to-head results? The website is on the TTL command. But yeah, head-to-head results for these two, there's not going to be a lot. I probably should have shown that. I keep forgetting. Speaking of forgetfulness, as my YouTube chat watches in disappointment right now, there were 50... Wait, was it 50 or was it 100? We had 50 sub-gifts on YouTube. And guys, YouTube won't actually tell me who it was. It just says that the name started with an A. That's all it says. It just says A and then 50. I would have to tab out to see who it was. Who was it? 50 twice? It doesn't show that. But, sorry, I was a little distracted with this build order here. Thank you very much. I'll have to tab out in between games to thank whoever that was. It was Alejandro. It was Alejandro. Yo, Alejandro, you're a beast. I wasn't expecting this many people to watch live on YouTube. I was also really worried that some of the YouTube videos wouldn't do well, and I've been proven really wrong. So, thank you guys. I really hope people are joking when they say that I treat you guys like second-class citizens. I hope it's just not serious. Alejandro, really? He just did it again. So that's now what? Another 50? Thank you. You're a beast. But yeah, no, I do appreciate you guys. So, as the subs trickle in on YouTube, to explain how this works, your dock will only fire arrows if the ships are not next to the dock. So there's minimum range. So it's like basically a castle without murder holes in a weird way. So the fishing ships are still alive in there, but they're not firing anything. It doesn't really seem like Repard is that interested in doing anything about this. And I don't know if it's really worth having 4 ships here in the long run. And Repard has the scout there. The villagers still don't have loom. Repard says, see you later, and kills a villager. Well played from Repard. I don't know what Lix was doing with the scout there. Now, from Lix's side, for every eco-tech, you get a new villager. And he is way. He got wheelbarrow, horse collar, and double bit axe already. So the eco still should be pretty good, but Repard will back away towards the tower. Repard is chopping out to the outer ring where there's stone and the extra food is. And Repard will be in Castle Age way faster. So I think Repard will be fine. I think he can get to the second town center. What I don't want Repard to have happen here is I don't want him to lose his scout. I think that scout's always something that can be safe. And oh, the dock could have actually fired on the scout. And now the tower can fire on the scout. And oh, they both go down. Well, it's only fitting. We hope for it to be a close series, and it was a close scout fight. The fortified tower has 13 range, so Repard was banking on that hitting a bit earlier. But, okay, I mean, congratulations, Lix. You've controlled the little box turtles in the middle. We'll see how important the middle pond becomes long term. The economy will be super smooth for Lix. But it just... I'm not really certain about the strat. You know what might be really good is 1 TC all in here. If he makes it to Castle Age, he could maybe make a lot of army. You obviously know Repard's going to be adding eco. And Repard will be in Castle Age, and Repard will drop TC number 2. There we go. Thank you, Fairy Tales on Twitch with the Prime. I've liked the new water balance, guys. I've been a really big fan of the new water balance. Maybe really big fan is too much. But, it's just more... There's more things that you can do in a game. Right? Like, even on hybrid maps, that was my biggest concern. The fact that you can garrison in the docks and play some counterplay here or there is kind of cool, so... And I know people don't like the Hawks. So there's some very anti-Hawk people out there. But, I mean, before, hybrid maps were usually just always fires, right? So, I think maybe there's some tweaking they could do long term, but It's not like hybrid maps where anything but just fire ships before. It just, the Hawks have filled that role. Monastery's up for Repart. I still think losing the scout was really sloppy because the player who's in Castle Age faster should just be able to heal the scout now. Obviously, it wasn't his intention to lose it. And he's on 3 town centers, which should balance out the villager count. But then again, the way can get more eco techs. Lix is very smooth eco right now, and Lix will drop double archery range to go for the Jean base. Are demos useless now? No, I don't think so. But they're not as effective as they were before in the situations they were before. I think we might see demos become more valuable in the mid game. Whereas before, it like demos were all early feudal and early castle to recover. We'll see, I guess, right? We did still see demo attempts on a map like Mudflow, so that was still an option. It's a pretty close game. Repard's on 3 town centers with Vietnamese. Doesn't really have the food eco to keep them working perfectly, but it's close. You need about 6 farms per town center. He's up to 17 on food. So it's right where he needs to be. I love these house walls. These house walls are going to be extremely valuable, especially once he finds out that the Jean Bays are out. And yeah, he finds out right now. Can he get a conversion? And no, Jean Bays. Rain down their arrows, kill the monk, and that hurts for Repard. Repard will have 1 relic. What Repard will need is map control here. He has the eco down now. And it's the other way around for Lix. Lix will need the eco. Second TC's on the way. Yo, Tremendo gifting subs on YouTube right now. Thank you so much. If he didn't have this little house wall here, he would have some big problems. But for now, his eco's safe. I want Lix to go to the outside at the moment. Your opponent is fully walled in. You just chop through the outside. You can go different directions. You could go these corners to look for the relics near these little buildings. These buildings do nothing, by the way, except look very cool. There's no sense in controlling them. You can't hide in them. Technically, you could stand behind them, but... Yeah, but the outside becomes really valuable now. Repard will drop TC number 4. Repard's just been buying stone to get the additional TCs, and then that will give him the stone. I think he's just building up towards a strong Vietnamese late game composition. It seems to me like he wants to go into rats and archers. And it's kind of perfect from Repard. He's playing it like a home map. The position on the stone is on the other side of the stone to protect it from any pressure. This direction, he doesn't want any army to loop around, so he'll place house walls, which will block this off. And a 15 villager lead for Repard. The fishing ships are not adding a ton of value for Lix. He has a lot of army, but 4 or 5 of that is Hawks in the middle, which again does very little. And he's very late to the 3rd TC, so... Janai says, were you expecting this low of a level from Repard? Question mark. Well, I find that to be toned in a way that I wouldn't want to say. I think that's a little rude to Repard. But yeah, listen, Repard had probably the best run he's ever had in his whole career. It's really hard to replicate that and bring that level of consistency. And even if he would bring the level of consistency that he brought in gold to get promoted here, it shouldn't even matter on paper. Right? Because the best players should always re-relegate. They should always relegate the players who get promoted up anyways, right? But no, I think I watched a lot of Repard's games in gold. I think he went into gold with a lot of confidence, and he was in really... he was in amazing shape. Again, I talked about it earlier. I don't know if you heard. The majority of people who follow our high level would say that Mihai's better than Repard. He beat Mihai. Like, he surpassed Mihai. They would say Prisma's better than Repard. He beat him. Maybe Miguel. Maybe Wide. All these players. Like, he went 4-1 in the group with 12 wins. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like, you know, in Lix's situation, Lix was 3rd place in the group stage, and then he won a best of 5 versus Kingstone. There with the playoffs, it's like, there you show an somewhat inconsistent season. You win a best of 5. That's one set. But if you win your group, it's a completely different combo, so... Nice shot from Lix. He gets the relic now. And right here, he's... Like, he hasn't been pressured early from Lix, and Repard's been killing it, so I think Repard's approach has been perfect. He'll play into skirms now. I really have to question Lix's approach. The 13 pop Feudal Age. I do think there was a little bit of logic to it, but he's just been completely outboomed right now. All right, slight chance that the Hulk takes down this castle, and if it happens, I would be so sad. Okay, it was unlikely, but I think with the positioning of the castle, the Hulks would have done that, yeah. And Lix sees it. I don't think the Hulks can really do anything about it, though. The villagers have Loom for Repard. There's skirmishers out for the Janbeis. He doesn't even need many upgrades. And once that castle's up, the water's a non-factor for Lix, because the castle's super close to Lix's base. And Lix is still really far behind in eco. This is meant to be a Regicide Fortress replacement. It's meant to be a boomy economic map. Lix tried to play aggressive, but he can't do any damage on the outsides. When he tried over here, he ran into the perfectly placed TC. And here he would run into walls, and Repard is up. I mean, best of luck, Lix. Because now he's made the stables. I think Repard doesn't see enough to know that he's adding He Guang, but yeah, he'll add the He Guang, which is a good play against skirms, but rats and archers can kill that. So Repard will fall back towards the castle. He does need to snag Bodkin, but it's not really much the He Guang can do against the Ratans now. More walls from Repard on the outside. Securing more stone. And yeah, I was just about to mention Fire Lancers might actually be the key unit here. Now, they have been nerfed. I forget the exact nerf on them. I think it takes longer to produce them now. Isn't it that they no longer use the ranged attack in melee engagements? I think that's the other... That's maybe one of the biggest ones because the free ranged attack was really strong. But I still think Fire Lancer, Rats and Archer could be really strong here. And the Vietnamese still have the bonus where they have the additional HP. Okay, they also cost more wood. All right. Well, Lix actually found some areas to do damage, which is nice. But if I'm Repard, I would just ignore that and just drop a castle on his face. I mean, this isn't doing a ton. You can always mass a bit of army to deal with this. He does need to garrison the TC, but yeah, just relocate the wood line. Drop a castle on his face. Oh, crap. Well, a couple really weird things I just noticed. Okay, so first off, someone on YouTube donated $2 and said, slap me naked, T90s live, OMG. So that's weird. But the other thing I just remembered is I promised gifted subs on Twitch if a king dies. Wait, I said king. I said king. So if a king dies, I'd have to gift subs. But it's a queen. So that doesn't count, actually. So I think I'm safe. Okay, also she's running. She's running. That's a scam? How can it be a scam? You didn't pay any money. This is free entertainment for many of you, right? Fine. If the queen dies as well, I'll give the subs. I still think it's unlikely. Repard is 2 trebs already. I mean, Lix has just had no map control the entire game. He's still behind in eco. He's still being outboomed. There's a big question on what military he's supposed to make. Even if he doesn't lose the queen, he still gets pushed off of his gold. I still would have at least to see a little bit more from him in mid game, like maybe add a siege workshop and try and pressure somewhere. But it was just a couple Janbeis. And Lix's MTC will be the one in the north. He'll hope to hold on here, but just repairing this castle to hold on right now. Repard has just played super solid. Again, the tiny details are all locked down. Like having this additional stone here and not being hit from the outsides is amazing because he doesn't need any army there, and he can just go full send in the middle. Another castle will go up for Repard. That's triple castle for Rats and Archer production as well, which I think is one of the key units here for the Vietnamese. He's also adding in some hulks to retake the water. We could even see cannon galleons. I have no clue what to suggest to Lix. The archer ranges, the monastery, the stables, the blacksmith, everything here should go down. Whatever it is, he needs it fast, and it needs to be like a one-time solution to the problem. Seems like the answer is going to be heavy He Guang. He has the stables on the right side. He'll drop siege workshops for traction trebs. This army's being chased down, though. This whole army's a non-factor now. The queen is still standing out in the open, which worries me because of the bet. But I think if Repard were to make it that far, it's just game over anyways. Okay, traction trebs change things a little bit. With traction trebs, you could maybe take down Repard's trebuchets. Repard still does need to keep track of this. I still think if he notices it, it will be dealt with. But now he's looking away, and... Alright, I mean, 2 trebuchets get sniped. That's something. Oh no, Repard is going into the back of Lix's base. And Repard is massing more and more production buildings. I think he was a little late on some upgrades this game. He will be in the back of Lix's base with fire lancers right now. He's snagging paper money, so he'll get gold income from chopping trees. So I guess you can raid with the ranged attack, but you can't fight Cav with the ranged attack. Is my understanding? That's a bit weird. Left side Fire Lancer will probably deal with this. Castle will go up for Repard. That'll be his 4th castle here. Isn't pushing on the right side, though. And Lix is starting to build up skirms and traction trebs. Lix has forgotten where that queen is. Like, Lix has no clue. Also, players are not used to having queens. It's usually kings. Obviously, we clarified that, so the players should know. I think the He Guang can hold for now. The He Guang Jianbei are holding. Repard is caught in 2 minds. He's caught between pushing, and he's caught between stabilizing at home and booming. I think, though, you can give up 1 castle and still be okay. You're also already making a lot of progress. But I'm starting to get worried that maybe he's letting this one slip. Guys, he's super late on blacksmith upgrades. Like, trying to go double tech. The skirms still are missing so many upgrades. Ballistics is missing. I think double blacksmith would have been needed. And he doesn't have the relics. He didn't actually eject the relics from the monastery. He still hasn't been able to break these TCs. He did lose that 1 castle. And that's a lot of skirmishers there from Lix. I was expecting the Fire Lancers to engage here, make a move. Make some type of play against the skirmishers, but he decided to go for the raids instead. Pathing gets a bit weird here for the Treb. Goes into the base. Repard just wants to trap down those town centers, though, so the eco's exposed. And he is still getting the upgrades that he was missing. And the Fire Lancers are probably still enough to push this back. And he built another castle here. So he's building castles to secure these golds. And he's used the castles to hold the position and give himself time. We have loose Schwans in the middle. Loose Schwans in the middle. So Lix tries to retake water. They'll get poked down. It is very satisfying to watch them sink, though. But yeah, these fully upgraded Fire Lancers are tough to kill. And as we learned in Red Bull, they're just very good against skirms. Like, skirms don't count to them. They're not spearmen, man. And yeah, Fire Lancers just... That's such an expensive loss for Lix. Lix loses loose Swans. He loses the traction trebs. He loses his town centers. Again, Lix had maybe 1 chance to hold on. If he didn't break this position, it was only going to get worse. And we have Imperial Skirm with better upgrades now for Repard as well. And Lix taps out. It was a... I don't know. It was just a weird approach. I wonder with being 0-6 if Lix ever really spent some time to practice. Again, he's an older player. Kind of goes on vibes a little bit. Goes on that experience. And Repard, he looked super solid there. Remember, Repard had some pretty nifty strategies in the early rounds on this map, too. He seems to like it. And he just did all the right things. I think giving up relics is completely fine. If you can get to Castle Age that much faster and boom like that, it puts the pressure on Lix to take the map and do something more than what he did. More of every resource there from Repard. Finally, he gets his first win. That's $30 in the bank as well. as there's still $30 to play for in every game. And now we play for the game number 3. So yeah, expect chaos here, okay? Lix likes the aggression. The previous game is a bit more defensive. He couldn't get the aggression in. But he goes Byzantines. This map usually means forwards. This map we can see Vil fighting. This map we can see towers. And Lix seems to be looking for an early wood line. But I think he's gone Byzantines because the Byzantine bonuses can scale really nicely on this map. And it makes life a lot easier for you. The free town watch and free town patrol upgrades means you'll see most of the map. So in Feudal Age and beyond, it's very difficult to be surprised. There's water all over the map as well, and the Byzantine fires are very strong. Now, its fires and Dramon's attack 25% faster. So this is the first time that I'm seeing Byzantines after they introduced the Hawks. Shouldn't Byzantines be worse on hybrid maps now? Because fires are good against galleys. And we're not really going to see galleys on these close quarter hybrid maps. It's going to mainly be Hawks. So, And again, I like Byzantines. I think Byzantines are pretty flexible. But I'm not sure I like Byzantines for that reason, at least. It certainly seem a little bit worse. Mongols are great with Hunt, and there's just Hunt everywhere. You get one Rhino on the map. If you bring in that Rhino and then you push in all the deer around the map, you should have plenty of food. I expect Repard to go full send. Probably play Man-at-Arms. Maybe play a mix of water. But here comes Lix already. And we're 3 minutes into the game, and Lix is also already walking around with a villager. You know what you could do? There's 2 positions your opponent would potentially dock. It's either down here or over here. I guess if you want to take the fight to water right away, you just dock your opponent's side. It'd be a very Lix thing to just dock here and then sneak the Vil later on. But he's found Repard. I think he'll be looking for where Repard will go for the dock now. Normally you're looking for a house on the shoreline. They'll see the scout. They'll trade the hits there. Actually, I think the hit's a little bit faster here for Lix. Yeah. Okay, now it's even. And now, who's going to take the risk? They're both have a horrible season. They're going to fight it like a man. And Repard gets screwed. Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. That is so bad for Repard. But I would do the same. The underdog always takes those. But who's the underdog? When they both have very few wins. They both have 1 win in the entire season. And now Repard doesn't have a scout with the Mongols. Yikes. Well. Oh, wait. But he loses a water buffalo in the north. That would be really confusing. Oh, he saw the dock too. Okay, well, now he knows. Who needs a scout when you have a water buffalo? Lix will know he's been spotted. Lix also sees the water buffalo over there from Repard, so maybe he'll go chase that down. And that would be 300 food stolen. But I still think that this villager will do something. If you lose your scout against someone like Lix, they're already probably going to be sneaking to your base, but they have even more reason to try it. Just hurts for Repard because he can't even push in the last ostrich or any of the zebra that are in the middle. There's a reason most of the high-level players won't take that fight there, because the scout is just super valuable. At T90, I would love to see a video on how competition maps are created. Yeah, I think I will do that in the future for some of the maps that I've had a hand in making. In this case, this map already existed, and then we basically just balanced it. Somebody else just gifted 20 subs on YouTube. What is happening? Again, YouTube, it doesn't really show me the name at the top of the list unless I click it, which I can't do right now. But if you tell me right now... Oh, yeah. Give me the... Oh, it's on the right side. Yeah, never mind. I see it. Case, thank you. Thank you. YouTube is definitely stealing Twitch's thunder. It's not a competition. But if it was a competition, YouTube chat would be winning right now, so. The T90, do all the levels of Titans League happen at the same time? Somewhat. So, Silver League has already completed the group stage. And then they will be playing playoffs. I'll be covering that next week. Golds, we will be covering all of Gold final rounds starting tomorrow. So, I'll have 3 sets tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Friday as well, I think. I think we do 3 sets each day. So we'll see the last round of Golds. before we do the gold playoffs on the weekend. So they're offset. That way we're able to cover the important rounds at the end of gold and silver. Gold and silver basically started first. It is wild to me, though. Like, Lix has the scout, and he should be looking to see if his opponent is going for an opening, and he's just pushing in this ostrich. Like, one of the number one things you need to do on hybrid maps is you need to scout, and Mongols aren't your typical man-at-arm opening civ, but I would still expect that, because why else would you pick the Mongols? So, yeah, Lix doesn't scout it, because he pushes in the extra hunt. He gets all the vision now, but the militia are already here, and Repard probably realizes... this has not been a great start for him. And he gets the block so far, and he gets the villager kill. I mean, that's already a perfect start. Meanwhile, Repard knows the dock is in the north, so he's sending his hawks up there. As he's going there, though, he just passes a forward dock from Lix. So Lix is playing full water, and Lix doesn't have anything on land yet, and he has to opt for the walls. But, I mean, the man-at-arms already paid off. You kill a villager. Also, Lix doesn't have a lot on gold, so he can't continuously make hawks, and the one villager is still frozen there. But oh my god, now Lix is going for the tower behind the wood line with the dock villager. And Lix garrisons his fish, and this is what will take some getting used to, and Repard is not a big water player. That garrison there saves the fish. He can do the same on this side, though, and Lix will need to pull his hawks away, and... both players a little slow to doing that. But, I mean, Lix still doesn't have a barracks. And he still doesn't have an archer range. And he can't exactly tower to save his gold. And there's an archer already from Repard. But, like... but then Repard's going to get pushed off the wood line. This is such a fun game. Lix will have the tower walled in. Repard just needs to run, move his wood line there. And Lix needs the archer range fast so he can get skirmishers out. I have no clue who's ahead in this game. It could go either way. Like, both players have some strong advantages. Lix will likely win the water. That's what it seems like. But Repard is winning land. And, I mean, it's just... on this map, it's so chaotic. There's so many areas to do damage on water and land. It's very difficult to defend. But I think the thing I just mentioned about winning water for Lix is only because he has 2 docks, but he can't produce if he's off the gold. So maybe he won't win water. And nice job from Repard here. Yeah, the first game it felt like Repard was really nervous. And he clearly struggled to find some balance, but game number 2 he was locked in. Game number 3 now he's locked in. Lix pulling the villagers away. Lix massing skirms. Villagers are so weak here. Guys, if you were to play... if I were to, in theory, run, I don't know, a community tournament which allowed all ELOs to play these exact same settings, do you guys think you would be nervous if you played? No money on the line, right? Just for fun. Your ELO bracket. Do you think you'd be nervous or do you think you'd be chill? Okay, lots of yeses. Okay. Well, imagine you know however many people are watching. You also have the money on the line. You know, you might have some friends, some family watching. You might have some expectations from teammates. Like, and then you have to play this map. Then you get a tower behind your wood line. You get hawks all over the place. You have new balance changes. It's a lot to manage right now. But in the end, I guess Lix gets back on gold. He gets enough skirmishers out to defend. He does a pretty nice job. Still very close game. A 40 population versus 41. But on the topic of the community tournament, it's not below the stream yet, but it is on the TTL5 command if you want to join the Discord. We have over 100 signups already, and we will have an ELO bracket for everybody. So, yeah, keep an eye out. I'm going to announce more on that. We still have, I think, signups close in... Signups basically close the last day of TTL, which is in a month. But, oh, man, where are the skirmishers? Where are the skirmishers, Lix? Where are the skirms? I'm not seeing skirms. Skirms are going over here. Archers sneak back in from Repard, and they have fletching. And that's the 5th eco kill from Repard, and pushes Lix off the wood line. But what Lix will do in these situations, when he takes damage, he understands he needs to commit and do damage elsewhere. So here he's hulking. Repard isn't properly patrolled, and Lix is repairing. The skirmishers are harassing the wood line here and killing a villager. This is still wide open. The archers over here are still being chased by skirmishers, which could end up finding the defense. And Lix is now getting forging, which Ornlu and I confirmed does not actually benefit you here. Because the base, so they do melee damage. The base melee damage is 4, and it's 4v4 already with the Hawk, but you can never do 0 damage in AoE. It's always a minimum of 1. So you'll go to 4 plus 1, and with 4 plus 1, you're still doing 1 damage. That's a holdover when they initially were testing this balance in Thalassocracy Cup. It was 5 base damage for Hawks, and so Lix just didn't do his research, basically. And I think he and other players have thought that the Hawks would benefit from forging, but they do not. They would benefit from forging later on once you get other upgrades, but... Man, this is still extremely messy. Lix is clearing up his wood line. Lix is pulling away here. Lix will at least be confident now. He'll think that forging did something for him, but I don't think it does. And Repard will clear this. Yeah, technically they do damage versus other ships. That's true. But in a Hawk v Hawk battle, they don't help. And so that's 150 resources that are kind of wasted. Scouts will clear the skirms. Hawks will clear the Hawks. Hawks will move in towards the fish, so the fish will be pretty idle. And, ooh, Repard has escaped down here, actually, to find some hunt and some wood. Reminds me of the Dragonstar Sito game, where Sito saved the game because he snuck down here to the wood line. Lix is going to play full archers now. Still, very little clue who's going to reach Castle Age next. I think it's nice for Repard. He can at least take some berries, but even then he doesn't have too many there. And yeah, he'll find the fishing ship snipes. And yeah, Repard with the lead. Damn. Yeah, so maybe game number 1, he was just a little nervous. It wasn't warmed up. Game 2, it kind of seemed no problem for him. Game 3 now, he's brought the aggression to Lix, and Lix has not been able to keep up. Farm's going up. So balancing out towards Castle Age. Market is already here. The worry I have is the military, though. Anything that the Mongols can make, the Byzantines can counter, and it's typically very cheap. Please carry, says game 2 and game 3, Lix didn't have a plan. He had a plan. I think game 2 was questionable. And I think game 3, everything was fine except not scouting the man-at-arms. He wanted that extra ostrich. He didn't expect that Repard would be going for man-at-arms, and then I think the game snowballed from there. I think playing water with Byzantines off 2 docks, towering the back of your opponent's base, it's all very strong stuff. But Repard has been equal to it. It's just difficult when the Byzantines have the discount. I think if Lix gets the market up, Lix balances his resources and can find Castle Age, then he could be okay with the army count. But it's just the army upgrades. What's up, Norb? Thank you for the prime. Loco's saying, no pins comment on YouTube with the links for merch / TTL shenanigans. YouTube, can you confirm? Because I commented that at the start of stream, and I thought I pinned it. If not, I can pin it. I pinned it every other day. It's possible I left the comment and didn't add the pin. If you want to get to the site, though, you can just go to t90official.tv. And then the other stuff is Liquipedia, but I can pin it in between sets. My bad. I must have just forgot to click the pin. Yeah, my bad. Well, Repard is holding. Lix has just a disastrous economy right now, but he does have the military lead. For Repard, the only wood line he has is down here. I think from Lix's perspective, Repard should have no wood because he's not on this wood line. If he found this right now, it's game-ending damage, but he doesn't know the wood line's down there. I think he's also looking up here to see where he's on wood. This could be the second game in TTL where someone saves the game because they sneak a wood line, dude. Smart. Still kind of worried, though, for Repard. It's not like he has the berries fully protected. Oh, but he does have the army here. The fight's a little awkward, but he's in Castle Age. If he can upgrade his skirms and his scouts here to light cav, the wood line is wide open. Well, props to him, by the way, for still having the fishing eco. I think Lix just needs to to snipe those fishing ships at some point. Repard! Repard! Notice it! Notice it! Repard! Oh my goodness, no, bro. No, he didn't notice the archers. The archers have been camped there the whole time. He's lost 4 villagers to it. He's microing over here. He's microing over here. Okay, he notices. It's fine. It's fine. The scout will clear the archers. It's so messy right now. It feels like one of the higher ping games we've had. And yeah, Elite Skirm is in. The scouts still have good upgrades. Like have upgrades 10 seconds away. Normally, I think you need some patience. I don't think Repard knows the word. Lick certainly doesn't know the word. I think it's very rare that you have this much opportunity to get damage. So, yeah, he's just fighting it. And, yeah, Licks can't do anything about it right now. Just so messy. The only thing he has is he has cheap camels to hope for. And cheap camels can actually turn this game around. He does go in with the Hawks. He does have other docks around to add fishing ships. He does still have the archers as well. Which, if the archers were to get into the eco, there's actually no defense for Repard there. But this is just... It's so bad for Licks. I think it would be even worse for Licks. I know at game 1, once Licks won, I was saying that like maybe because Licks plays MBL later, and MBL is currently in 4th place, that there's a chance that Licks could turn it around if he were to sweep here. But now, like, remember, Repard still has to play Leary. And I am just not seeing any response here for Licks. He's hoping for the best. These archers are going to sneak, but they get trapped in there, and Repard will have a few knights there too, and Licks can't afford anything. Repard has killed 22 economy. And I've been critical with some players. I'll be critical here. You have to know what your opponent's opening is if you're going to be in Platinum League, man. Like, I've been critical of Silver and Gold League players for being surprised on this map by Man-at-Arms. It's extremely common. Licks just didn't know. And now the main benefit for him would be the fishing eco, which may or may not stay safe. And the fact that his units are very cheap. This is actually... Oof. Repard doesn't really have a lot of military. You can't make knights against the archers anymore. You lost all of your skirms. If Licks dives, which he's doing, this could actually work. There's not enough military here. Oh my god. I mean, what is this series, man? The monk there will go for conversion. The monk gets the conversion. That helps. Okay, camels hop out. At least most of the archers went down before they were crossbowmen. Still, though, I mean, Repard needs to panic up this TC, and he needs to somehow match the camel numbers from Licks. Again, that wood line being in the south has saved him this game, but the rest of his eco is not great. Licks' eco... Licks' eco is also awful. We've got 20 villagers after one... This is everyone in YouTube chat waiting for a gifted sub right there. Only so many people can get the gifted subs, and the rest of the people are sitting there saying dodged. That's what that is. Like, my god. Sorry, guys. Sorry he only gifted, what, 250? Okay, yeah, go to another gold mine. But no, don't go to another gold mine if gold mine means, you know, a stream in this case. Because we've got Vinchester against Yo coming up next. Byzantines are very adaptable, right? They have so many discounts. They have the vision. They have the superior navy. Look at how much Licks can see. But he doesn't actually see a gold right now. Except for over here, which feels too exposed. He does see this gold, which also feels too exposed. But it's the same situation for Repard. And Repard can't see the gold down here. Oh, man. I mean, Repard just placed this mining camp, which should tell Licks that he's having the same problems. Wow. What do you do? The camels will get converted. And that's a strong camel. That's good for Repard. You need to find the gold. And he found it. Yeah, that's huge. Game is very even. I think even is bad for the Mongols. The hunt bonus is gone now. Res collected always looks good for Repard, but he's not that far ahead with eco upgrades. I will say he's far ahead with the farms. But he has to dig deep right now to find some focus. Repard dock down here. That will get spotted by the crossbows and camels. And Repard will add a couple hawks in response to seeing the fishing ships. But 2 TCs for Repard, 2 TCs for Lix. All the hawks and the fires will come down from Repard. No nuclear Gandhi, thank you. I don't know what to think about this at the moment. Clearly, both players have struggled this season. I think they certainly played better when they were in Gold League. Maybe it's a confidence thing, but also it's a consistency thing, right? Like the best of the best can bring the same level all the time. Even some of the top 10 players, like some of the biggest names in AoE, can struggle with consistency. I'd argue there's really only like 2 players who are consistently bringing their best every single time in AoE 2 right now. And that would be Leary and Hera. But, yeah, Repard gets the counter, kills off the fish. Has a lot of monks here. And will drop a Siege Workshop in a critical position. This is his only gold income right now. But, I mean, Mongol monks are not really the strongest when it comes to converting siege or anything like that. But if you just need to convert camels, they're still more than capable. Alejandro again! Dude! I'm losing track right now. Is that 250? Dude. Please leave a comment, by the way. Like, when there's not subs flying in, please leave a comment if you want me to see your words. I can't see anything except these subs flying in. Thank you. Absolute legend. My goodness. I think it might be 300 subs on YouTube. Okay, Repard does have this stone and gold, which he'll take. But full focus on this. Lix is going to try and clear this with pure numbers. It really comes down to the conversions. Because you don't get good monk upgrades with the Mongols. Missing Sanctity means that the monks are so easily sniped, even by camels. I think if Lix had a few more ranged units, he would use his crossbows to try and snipe this. But he still only has 3 of them. But I don't know, man. This can swing the game. Both players are hard committing to this area. Here comes Lix. Lix will dive. Repard will go for conversions. I see 1, 2, 3. I saw 3. He'll get the 3. There are now camels coming from behind for Lix. And now the camels can't convert anymore. The skirmishers will go down. The siege, of course, is useless. The monks are going to go down. It's a big army swing. Repard has a 20 villager lead. Lix has so much TC idle time, but Lix doesn't care about that. He just goes for full army now. Oh, man, this is so bad for Repard. He doesn't know about this gold. Maybe he's too committed to this. I think you need to fall back. But when you commit to an area, you never want to leave it in AoE. You want to just continue to fight for the position. You have to be stubborn and... I mean, he runs away. I think even if he got the conversions he needed, it still only would have been 5. And Lix has so many camels. It's just so cheap for the Byzantines to do this. Crazy momentum for Lix. He'll add the ram, which can take down the houses and take down the siege workshop. He'll drop a town center here. There was a point where Lix had like 0 farms. He's now up to 18. Make it 6 more down here, so that's 24. And what is Repard supposed to make right now? Such a consistent problem for the Mongols. If it can't be Lancers, if it can't be the early Feudal Age play with the Scouts or the Light Cav, it's then usually Mangudai. It takes a long time to get there. Cav Archers could be an option too, but then Byzantines have cheap skirms. Disaster for Repard. Again, back to the nerves. If this was you, how do you think you'd feel? You've just watched 15, 20 villagers go down. You're losing full map control. Idols everywhere. Your opponent is siege pushing you. And pretty much all you can do in response is you have to add your own camels because your camels are superior. So once you have bloodlines, you do have the stronger camels. And then, of course, obviously add your own monks. But worker efficiency last minute for Repard, 46%. And yeah, the scout. The scout, it was a coin flip, essentially. He took the risk with the scout fight. If he didn't lose that scout, maybe he would know about this gold. I'd still love to see some outposts, and I'd still like to see some fight back from him here. And he does snipe the monk. A lot of those camels were forced away. These camels ran away, and Repard garrisoned with the TC. And Repard, hold up. Repard has resistance with the conversions. He snipes the crossbows. It's now 9 camels against 15. And he's super heavy on stone. I mean, again, this is people looking for gifted subs. They're just... Yeah, I guess you got to delete a house to get one. It's messy, but if he can get a castle down here, it simultaneously secures the gold for himself and takes down the town center from Licks. Still just worry Camel War. Always better for the Byzantines. It's so cheap. 25% discount is really strong. I feel like if that discount were to be introduced with a DLC civ, a certain percentage of people watching right now would be losing their minds, right? But we're used to that bonus. Just like we're used to the Britain's extra range. And we're like, that's not a problem. Man, what a clear up from Repard again. Not bad. And Bloodlines definitely makes a difference, but ooh, he is being raided back here. Licks has closed the villager deficit. He's now only like 6 or 7 villagers behind. Camo Wars are so hard to hype, guys. It's like you do so little damage against the opponent. And then camels can't really, like, I guess he has raided well, but you can't really raid with them either. It's such a weird unit to cast. And that's why we need a castle. Let's go, Repard. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I thought he let it crumble. Let's go. He is castling the opponent's siege workshop, which has been making siege, and he's castling his opponent's TC. But this is the energy you need. Okay, castle has started. Licks wasn't producing siege. Repard gets a conversion. And Repard is committing 21 vills to this. That castle's going up. Damn, that's such an important castle. That's so good. He's actually running out of wood. Let's not forget that this has basically been his only wood eco, and he is running dry. But I guess he can take some wood here. And now he can take all the gold. And now you go camels and Mangadai? Licks could struggle. Where did it go wrong for Licks? It's just an excellent recovery from Repard. I thought Licks had pulled this game back. He had fixed his economy. His economy was looking good, but he wasn't able to keep all of his military there, and I don't think he was expecting Repard's castle. He'll bring his camels back home to defend the back of his base. He'll TC the north now. Repard up 20 villagers. And there will be a castle here from Licks. Yeah, Licks will go in. This game is going to be insane. Because if you think that Repard has won this because he has more military, and because you have, and because he's dropped the castle, think again. Byzantines can get themselves out of any situation. And that's actually a clear up for Licks as well. He gets the conversions. He'll clear up the camels. He's on the way to Imperial Age. When he makes it to Imp, he can treb that castle down from Repard. Military count's close again. Repard found the back TC. Repard loses the camel. Repard also hoping to go Imp. Using the market for this. He'll park his Mangadai on the gold. Licks will need the camels over here, and Repard is also on the way. Damn, what a game. The water's still kind of a factor. Like, the occasional fire or Hulk in this case could still play a pretty big role. Licks a little slow to reacting here. But he'll garrison, and camels can take the Mangadai. Think about it. If you just stay on camel and treb, you treb down this castle, and then camels can kill the low numbers of Mangadai. I think I prefer Licks' position. Like, forget about all the stats except look at the army and look at the timing of the trebuchets. And then look at everything that's going to be behind this castle for Repard. I don't think it's a mistake for Repard to be going double castle Mangadai. I think that's a good idea. But I think it's extremely difficult. And for Licks losing the map control, that was kind of painful. But he did do a really good job that whole time fixing his economy, which we don't really show. He does desperately need this gold right now. And, oh, it's going to get... Oh, my God, that's going to be the one that the castle goes up on. Oh, my God, what a game. What a game. And the Mangadai should be pretty good against the camels for now, so the camels can't deny it. All right, so Licks will be no gold gaming. He will make his first treb. He needs the additional golds, which would be in the north. There's always golds in the north and the south. He can't see the one in the south or the north. Hasn't even seen the gold over here in the west. He would drop another castle. All right, so the situation changes a little bit if you're Repard. I think Repard wins this game if he gets out of this area. He avoids the castle. If he can expand to the back, if he can go down here to the south. Also, if he's not spotted, Lix will start to build outposts. Mainly because he's looking for gold. Raids in the back from Lix. He gets some damage done. Oh, this is going to be a gold he'll find as well. Maybe he'll find Repard's eco. He can't make a treb from here yet, but he sails at the market and will queue up a treb there too. So he has 1 treb on the hill, about to be 2 for this castle. Repard's castle will fall. And then here... Oh, in the north, he's going and Repard found him! Repard found him with the Mangadai! Oh, it's a huge find. And he noticed it as well. It wasn't just by chance. It wasn't like he was looking away. That's a really nice find. He still only has 7 Mangadai, which is concerning. He is going for trebs of his own, but Byzantine castles are just so strong. He does have stone, and I guess Lix also doesn't have a lot of stone. So maybe Repard can out-repair here for a while. Lix in a panic will come down here for the golds. He will find the stone as well. And back here, we still have some camels raiding, but some conversions. Yeah, Lix is... The longer Repard holds, the worse it is for Lix in terms of gold and stone. Oh, God, but the camels are looking around. The camels saw the lumber camps, and they know to look, and the camels find 15 villagers! Nobody is safe, and now there's Mangadai killing the farmers. Nobody is safe here. Nobody is safe. Everything's dying. They're both in awful positions. They both will lose castles, probably. Lix will definitely lose this one. Remember, Repard's military is castle military. He needs his military to... his castles to stay up. And he's sinking all of his stone into repairing a castle that will still probably fall. He's actually... He trebbed the treb there. The camels might consider diving here in a second. Look at this from Repard's point of view. He's getting chased down by camels, and he has to hit and run. It's extremely difficult to do. And his castle's about to fall, and Lix completes heavy camel, and Lix will dive. Repard quick wall. He can't quick wall in time. Now, camels are so bad at attacking trebs. They're so bad underneath castle fire. It's one of the worst units here, but it's one of the best units for Byzantines to still be making. Repard pulls his Mangadai back towards the castle, so he can hold. He took down that castle and can take down the trebs. 1 treb falls for Repard. A lot of the camels are dying for Lix. But Lix has some gold income. Both players are using the market, and Lix will take down the castle, meaning villagers will get killed, the trebs will get killed, and his castle will stand. It's 105 population for both, but the military for Repard is the problem. He can't commit to Mangadai with just 1 castle, and it's just the common problem with unique units. When you need trebs and you need unique units, you always choose trebs, and then you don't have the military. And now he's thinking pikemen, which is, of course, a great call. But pikemen would have needed to be in before this, usually. Because now decision-making gets pretty easy for Lix. He can start to treb all this down. He can push the eco with the camels. He can balance out his res. If he ever sees pikemen, he can go for ranged units too. Repard will treb the town center. But he can't do too much with 3 Mangadai. And Mongols don't get Halb. It's so tough to get to the late game with the Mongols. The barracks are producing the pikemen. The trebuchets are still here. More barracks are going up, but the TCs are going down. He doesn't have the army. But for everything for all the resources collected, that Repard is ahead, I think the Byzantine discount has balanced it out. He's 4,000 res collected ahead. I don't know how many camels he's produced or how many skirms he's produced yet. We have to do the math on that, and I certainly suck at math, but with Byzantines, you have so many bonuses which save you, right? If he wasn't Byzantines, this castle wouldn't have had 7,000 HP. He wouldn't have had Imp be cheaper. So, yeah, I mean, Byzantines could just survive it all. Elixis has the gold now. He's probably found another gold. He's looked around in the back for stone. I think he should see that. And if he sees that, he can take that too. And now he sees pikemen. So he'll actually back off and just click the elite skirm upgrade and make the cheap skirms as well. Also has the outpost in the north. We'll find that Repard is up there. will know that Repard isn't in this corner. I would play... The only thing that's questionable for me, though, from Repard is why not play, like, Cav Archer. I would play Pike Cav Archer. I guess if you have one castle, you still want to make Mangudai. But if you play Pikeman Cav Archer, I think that's maybe your best option. Unfortunately, the Pikemen are just too weak. They don't have enough upgrades. And all the Blacksmith upgrades are in for Lix, and it's just not good enough. And Lix knew it as well when he took the fight. He said, Pikeman with Mongols? I've been here before. He wins the game. He produced 102 camels, 22 skirmishers. Those were 25% off. Imperial Age was also cheaper. And even though it wasn't clean from Lix, and even though it looked like he was dead half the time, he was able to turn it around. What a comeback. Man, that game was back and forth, but I think you could tell, like, both players probably can play a bit cleaner than this. With Lix, I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes Lix is more of the bring you down to your level player. Repard will be disappointed he maybe let that one slip away. Does someone want to do the math for me on what 25% off savings is on that many skirmishers and camels? Because Res collected lead for Repard in this game was about 3,000 resources. So it's almost super easy math, but yeah, that's why Lix relied on the Byzantines. It's a perfect civ for him. Kelso's the perfect civ for him because he's an early game player, and he does early game shenanigans, and he won the game fast in early Castle Age. And then Byzantines is great on a map where things can go wrong because the bonuses bail you out. So you pick Byzantines not because you're a perfect player, but because you're an imperfect player, and you're going to encounter imperfect times. GG. Okay, according to one guy in my chat who I am not going to verify, he says that the savings were about 1,300 food and 1,100 gold just for the camels. Okay, so that's what? 2,400 res. And that's not counting imp. And that's not counting the skirms. So I think it just leads to the game balancing out the way it did there. Maybe Repard didn't need imp. Maybe Repard needed to go like full Mangudai and like pikes and rams or something. But the fact that he was denying the gold seemed really strong. Maybe that was the bigger thing for Repard too, is recognizing the outside of the map was still there and taking those resources himself. A 2-1 for Lix.